No race has the last word on culture and civilization. They do not know what we are capable of. They do not know what we are thinking. Because my work has only just begun. No race has the last word on culture and civilization. They do not know what we are capable of. No race has the last word on culture and civilization. They do not know what we are capable of. They do not know what we are thinking. Because my work has only just begun.
Feel it down in your soul till you can't control it. Put your hand up to the sky. Mama, don't ask why. In these dark and lonely times, we gon' turn the tide. If you're looking for a sign, turn and look inside of you.
Right. So we are back. Let's play this song and then we will jump straight in to our program tonight. Dauntless Defenders of the Global. Let's play this song.
Sabiendo todo lo que yo siento, me negarías apasionando, sabiendo todo lo que yo siento, me negarías sentar a mi lado con la ilusión en el pensamiento. Solamente así yo te doy mi amor, solamente así yo te doy mi amor, solamente así yo te doy mi amor, solamente así yo te doy mi amor. Cuando sabes que y me gustaba de ser en verso, y por esto yo enamorada, y mi canción cabe en el universo, y por esto yo enamorada, y mi canción cabe en el universo. Será por eso que siempre tengo la melodía en el pensamiento. Solamente así yo te doy mi amor, solamente así yo te doy mi amor, solamente así yo te doy mi amor. Solamente así yo te doy mi amor. Por eso espero seguir sintiendo que igual amor a mí me está dando. Solamente así yo te doy.
Hey, good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Dauntless Defenders of Good Governance. And we have a packed show tonight. Yes, we have a packed show tonight. And let me bring in my political analyst, none other than the man that hails from University of the West Indies, and he is in his final year, and he will be our political young analyst. He's no longer an activist, he's now a political activist, and he is on the ground. He's also doing data analysis. You name it. Let me bring in the man who is back. Yes, let me bring in the man who I have converted to being back. And yes. Let me bring him on stage. Let me bring him on stage right now. Call a friend, call a neighbor, tell a neighbor. Dauntless Defenders of Good Governance is right here. Just sorry about that. Right. Yeah. So what went on there? No man, no. Ah, yes. Hey, so unmute your mic. Nice. So everyone. Right. So good evening, Paul.
Pleasant good evening to you, everyone. Good evening to Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean region, and by extension, international.
Ah, yes, we are international because we have thousands and thousands of people who follow us every day on one social media, another set on another social media. We have our platform, yes, that we also broadcast, that is Dauntless Defenders of Good Government. What were they saying tonight? Bounce up, yeah. Somebody like to switch me in. So you hear me, Paul? Let's go.
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly now. Sure.
Right. You're playing Pastor. You're doing. Let me tell you, Paul has come a long way. Let me just introduce you, Paul, before we start. Paul has come a long way in this political arena. Paul started off from just some humble beginnings, some Peter Garden. Am I wrong, Paul?
Yeah, I came from the Laventille West constituency, and I came from the Laventille West constituency, and I've been an activist for many, many years in terms of advocating for the people, not only the constituency, but the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I have echoed my sentiments at a young, tender age, and now that I've grown, I realize that there's a need for more analytical, for more intellectuals in the country, because when we have people like Selwyn Kojo and the other professors who are getting older and are not able to comprehend, not to say properly, but as you get older, you kind of die down into the politics. So we need the political training from them and hand on the baton to the younger ones, So as I said, the younger ones, I know you want to allude to things like the old heads and the old horses of the PNM and replacing them with new ones. So I think that we could start discussion from there.
Look, yeah. So let's jump into it. Paul, the reason why I invited you tonight, because one, there's a lot of things that are happening on the political landscape, and I really wanted to get your analysis on the paralysis of the ship that is happening on the political landscape right now in terms of Munilal is calling for a massive inquiry into the amount of money that is being spent in EMPD that Junior Sammy would have won to the Privy Council, which is money that basically that he was supposed to be paid, but there was some scenario that played out, and the government has to finish paying off his $83 million. What is your say on that? Is there any corruption in that?
To be quite honest with you, Devon, this is a bit not new news to me because I wasn't following up in that aspect of the direction of Munilal and that particular institution. However, what I can say though, and the system could agree with me, is that we looked at empirical evidence. I can't base my analysis, or if I have to make certain sentiments based on what Dr. Munilal would have stated. But if he can bring empirical evidence to the public domain, and I could get a look at the evidence and try to match it up with what he is saying, then I will be able to make an honest analysis based on that. But for now, I am calling on Dr. Munilal to bring empirical evidence, and then we can deal with making proper statements in the direction of how we can resolve it, or what direction that the government could take, or maybe Munilal. Thank you.
All right, but there's a video that was circulating earlier on this morning, very early this morning, in fact, from Laventille West, where the women's league would have had a meeting, which is supposed to have been private, but it seems to have found its way in the public domain, where they were asking the members of the women's league of the Laventille West constituency whether or not if they had basically endorsed the current MP, which is Joel Hines, and nobody basically voted or even made an utter word. What is your say on it? Because I know you would have seen that that video that is circulating.
Thank you, Devon. I saw the video, and also several persons from the public has also sent the video to my phone, actually. However, looking at the video and looking at, yes, it is alleged that it's the Women League, right? I don't know if it's the Women League of a constituency, or it's a Women League of the People's National Movement, but I see there was a group of women in a room stating about the nomination and if they are voting for or against the Honorable Mr. Hines. And I'm stating that it appears to me, and I can be wrong, and I stand to be corrected, but it appears to me it's a group of disgruntled women who I believe cannot have their way with Mr. Hines, who don't understand the dynamics of the politics, and they also need to also understand that Mr. Hines holds different portfolio within the government and within the public, right? And this is the thing that I was always trying to lobby for, Devon and Trinidad and Tobago, is either we come to a realization where you cannot overwhelm an MP with a ministerial position because they wouldn't be able to get some time to see the constituents, right? So now that people are disgruntled because they may be claiming that they didn't get the help that they need within the constituency. And I can vouch for Mr. Hines and say, because of his portfolio, especially being the Minister of National Security, which is a wide portfolio, and you could look at where the country is looking at him closely to see how we can get a resolution in terms of curbing the crime situation in this country. He also have to go back to his constituency who voted for him last general election to also satisfy the requirements and please them in terms of the desired needs. Because when you vote on election day, you vote for someone who you think that can do the job exceptionally well, and that they put their burdens in your hands so that you would able to help them as the time goes by, where the tenure is concerned, the 5 years tenure. not disputing Mr. Hines of an exceptional track record in terms of politics, different portfolios, and also he had he's exceptionally in terms of his capacity where his intellectual is concerned. I mean, some may say he's not working for his constituency and his constituents, but one have to understand that we need to go back to the party in terms of the People National Movement. We need to go back to maybe some persons in central government and let them know, hey, we need to differentiate the difference. It's either you want the MP to be a minister and you put the portfolio to somebody else. We need to change the legislation because some persons who is MP and minister at the same time is overwhelmed. Devon and Trinidad and Tobago, you can know holding a ministerial position is a lot of work, right? Being in part is ridiculously a lot of work. So sometimes you're so tired trying to even manage your own ministry, you forget your constituents and their needs. So I am saying to the Prime Minister or the next leader, incoming leader, is that when you're going to actually appoint a minister, appoint a minister who doesn't have a constituency to manage. And that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Well, look at it, because at the end of the day, now when they're doing basically when candidates put up for putting up themselves for candidacy for an area, they normally will have to go through the treadmill to get probably a pre-screen before they go to the actual screening. And when they go to screening, they will ask at the screening whether or not the executive agree or disagree. And if the Women's League, which is supposed to be the backbone of the constituency, is not endorsing him, isn't that not sending a message to the MP that, look, we may need somebody else to run the constituency and you may just need to handle national security matters?
Right. Devon and Trinidad and Tobago, in that case, I could understand, yes. If that's the sentiments that these alleged women is sending out a message to MP, I also think that the political leader and the screening committee has the final say. When you looked at when Dr. Rowley had screened in Sandy Grande, right, the people wanted X, Y, and Z, and Dr. Rowley chose otherwise, right, and the screening committee, because sometimes you may send somebody up for screening, but that does not mean that they will get the nod, and that does not mean that they are the right person to manage the constituency. What I would like to see happening in Trinidad and Tobago and throughout the Caribbean is that we looked at local government, and if we can promote those councillors to now screen for central government, because they would have done exceptionally well managing the local aspect of it, and they understand the needs of the people, then we can say, you know what, for instance, Abina, who is part of the Laventil West, she's also a councillor there, or somebody within the council, right? In terms of local government, now can get the promotion of being an MP. But I cannot see somebody who just doing minimal groundwork and just want to jump into the pot or the fire. I'm looking at somebody who we could grow into politics and let's see what they can bring forth to the table, because sometimes your calling can be local at that point in time, but basically, generally, you can be a member of parliament because you have more to contribute, right? I think we should do it in terms of progression, in terms of not just, I want to screen, I want to be this, I want to be that. It's not even about what you want to be. It's about national interest and what is best for the people. So if that is the sentiments that these group of women is echoing, that they want somebody else because, you know, he have a big portfolio and he have to attend board meetings and whatever the case may be, then we could look at somebody within the local government aspect who was a councillor or previous councillor and promote them to be the next person who could be the member of parliament. And that's my say on it.
But Paul,
because let me tell you something, Devon, they would have been seasoned to a point. They would have the political experience and the acumen. Thank you.
No, well, But Paul, on the books, well, when I mean the books, on the social media pages, because it was on a rampage today on many social media sites where people are calling for a younger person to take over the reign of Laventille West. And some people were saying no, and some people were saying yes. What are your say on that? Is it about just experience, or do you think the time has come for a youthful, vibrant person to enter this political arena and go in a different direction, or probably go in the direction of what they may want to see the community going? What is your take on it?
Devon and Trinidad and Tobago, I don't have any objection with a younger person who is trying to throw their hat in the ring, or in terms of serving the younger generation in this era, because a younger person can relate, right, to what the youth is going through in this country in terms of youth violence and crime, and you name, just to name a few, right? And when a younger person now jump into the political arena to serve the constituency, I'm sure that they will be able to gravitate, right? But in terms of my opinion, I was also looking at a political experience. When you have a political experience person, you could now be able to manage your constituency properly. And then when you go to the to media and you have to answer questions in terms of different things in terms of transparency and accountability, the person who has the political experience will be able to execute beautifully. And we don't want somebody who is hesitant, or who is not sure, or who hasn't really understand the mandate of the people. Not the mandate of the PNM, no, the mandate of the people, because it's two different mandates. And I'm simply saying that we need somebody with the political experience and young. These councillors that we have right now in Trinidad and Tobago are young councillors, so why not promote them to screen, so that they will able to now say, you know what happened? I've helped the people, the youth understand what the work that I've been doing. Let me help on a different level now, so I will gain a more respect and get things done. So I think the younger persons need to learn. They need to start from a local level. I don't think you should just jump in a central government level and say, okay, I can serve the people in that wide span. I think it's politically wrong, and it can never be politically correct.
Now, what had me disturbed, and this video came out about, let me say, after 3 in the morning. I saw the video after 3 in the morning, this morning actually, in the early morning, because I got up about that time, and I go on the books and I said, let me go and Mako and see what is happening. They know me, I'll be out there watching to see what is happening, you know, who doing what and all them different things. Only to realize that somebody from the head table was actually taping the whole meeting. Now, isn't that not compromising or trying to undermine the party at this point in time, knowing that screening is about to take place?
Yeah, I think that wasn't called for. I think if you're having a meeting of such, I think the whole recording and the social media should be out of it, because it seems as though that they have actually jeopardized the privacy and the confidentiality of these meetings. And I think that whilst doing so, if one could make such mischief in the beginning of the era of choosing another representation for the particular constituency, I can imagine what can take place futuristic. So I'm simply saying that we are coming to the election period where you would have different takes, different opinions, different justification. But I think this should be a waking up and shaking up for future meetings that they may have in other constituency, and learn from their mistakes, because we cannot risk the opposition is already attacking the PNM, and for the PNM within to have a fight that I think shouldn't be, because a party supposed to be making decision cohesively and not against a person, because if you are representing a party, we're supposed to look out for one another because we share the same sentiments and values and morals. But in this instance, it appears to me it's an undermining situation, and I find it's a no-no for me. And as a person who is upcoming in the political arena, who have studied from since 2020, and I will be graduating in 2025, which is a 5 years period, I am not mixing matters with my analytical skills and my political career. Thank you.
So, Paul, and before we go, I want to ask you something. I don't know if you would have seen the invitation that would have been sent out to the Honorable Minister, Mr. Stuart Young, the MP for St. John's, and also the Minister of Energy. You saw the way in Nawali Nagar, well, not in Nawali Nagar, the National Council for Indian Culture, and well, another part of them would have sent out a press release stating that they don't want him to attend the to give the feature address at the Nawali Nagar tonight. What is your say on that?
Devon and Trinidad and Tobago, if that is indeed true, because I don't have any empirical of the disbanding them from not appearing, but if that statement that you just made is correct, I would say this is totally wrong, because these are figureheads of the country called Trinidad and Tobago. And if we call ourselves diversity and multicultural, and this is part of our culture, why are you now disbanding somebody who is actually part of governance, not to be a feature speaker or not to be speaking on the platform? I think that it appears to be somebody is doing some sort of political mischief to gain some sort of mileage, but I would condemn that particular statement totally.
So, Paul, well, I want to thank you for coming on, and well, I know when you graduate next year, that bill might be very hefty, so we're getting it for free for now. So, because I know a number of media houses will be calling you and asking your opinion on the political landscape in Trinidad and Tobago, and I really want to wish you a happy Diwali as we prepare for Diwali celebrations tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Devon and Trinidad and Tobago. And I also want to wish you happy Diwali as well to you and yours, and also Trinidad and Tobago. We have to look at, Diwali is just one holiday, but when you look at the other holidays like spiritual Baptist and different holidays, we all have to come together to share these holidays, because this is what made up of Trinidad and Tobago. And, I kind of, in terms of my closing remarks, I am very disgruntled about the fact that they want to disband the feature speaker, and this shows the type of behavior the other side is alluding to, and it doesn't look good on their end if they continue that way, especially within a year or so there's general election. So I look forward in seeing how this election is going to smoothen out in terms of the election of 2025, is going to look like. But what I can say, though, it's a tight race, because you never know what could be trickling down in terms of appointment of leaders who decide to pass on the baton. Things can change in a split second, and then the population can now have a different aspect in terms of their political affiliation, where democracy is concerned. Thank you.
All right, so we want to thank our young budding political analyst and Paul for coming on and giving his political analysis on that situation. Yes, people, if you did not know, well, now you know. There's a video that was actually circulating this morning, and it went throughout the whole day. And it's going all over the place, where the chairman of the women's league in the Laventille West constituency would have conducted a meeting and asking the members if they would have endorsed the minister as the candidate for the constituency. And in the video, it would have shown where nobody would have actually voted or even made an utter noise, and she had to repeat it on 3 occasions, and nobody moved a muscle. So it was very and what was very, very worrisome to me was that somebody from the head table literally sat down while the meeting was in progress and literally would have videotaped, you know, as a form of to embarrass the minister, to make it look as though people in the constituency is not supporting him, and that may not be just so, because the Women's League is just one arm of the sections in the community and within the party structure in the constituency. So really and truly, we need to be very careful of those who may have this undermining tone and trying to promote as though they want somebody else, but they're trying to undermine the current leader, well, the current MP for the community of Laventille West. But more will be said on that, because I am getting information on who may have tipped and where did the source of the video come from, and it may be very, very shocking when I announce who it was, because I'm going to call them out. I am going to call them out, because it is very, very distasteful that you go to a meeting, you tell yourself that the meeting is confidential and private, and people on the head table taping the members as well as the person who conducted the meeting, and then putting the meeting in the public domain. So even if you did not want people to even know you are part of a voting process, there are people who are actually taking the phone, sitting down on a head table and taping. And that is dangerous. And if it is, then if people have to attend meeting and everybody now has to put down the phone in some kind of thing and wait until the meeting is over to pick back up that phone, then I think that should happen, because it speaks to the level of confidentiality, privacy that goes on in these meetings. And while some people may not like it, it's done in the public domain. So you can't pull it back, because it's done in the public domain. And it's circulating, and whole day I had to literally put down my phone, because people keep calling. And I said, hey, that's not nice. That's not nice. That's so dangerous. But nevertheless, let me see if because I'm supposed to have another guest who is supposed to be coming in. Yes, I'm supposed to have another guest who is supposed to be coming in and joining me. I don't know if they reach home yet. I don't know if they reach home yet. You know the thing this go in this thing. I must stop saying that, you know the thing this go. They know that Trinidad slang, right? But nevertheless, let me touch on this thing here. Let me touch on this thing here because there's something I really want to talk about. Let me see if I get it here. Let me see if I get it here. Hold on. I know I sent it to. All right. Let me see. All right. Right. So I said I was going to touch on it tonight, and I want to touch on it tonight. And it's NUGFW gets a new president, and really and truly, some people would have asked me, knowing that I would have been talking about PSA and NUGFW, SWTU, all these little dinosaurs and things who want to run these organizations and run it down to the ground. I saw one or two comrades that I would have been working alongside on a supervisory committee in a credit union, literally joining up with Lambert, and that was kind of concern to me. Now, if they had called me, I would have told them, hey, don't do that. Don't put your hat in the ring. But when I see the picture and the names and things came out of who was supporting, I said, boy, you just threw away your whole career. Boy, you just threw away your whole career day. But let me jump into it because it is very, very, it's not interesting to me really and truly because people have been asking me on several pages to comment on it. And I told them straight up, I don't want to comment on bullshit. Really and truly, because a lot of people know what was happening at NUGFW. A lot of people. Me, you know, it's no but no maybe. A lot of people, and you see many of them were women. Many of them were women, and the governance structure at NUGFW fell down. And I dare anybody to tell me that the governance structure at NUGFW, like SWTU, that currently right now in a quandary right now, is not a governance structure problem. Well, now NUGFW after 16 years, and it can be longer than that. Because since I go to school, I see James Lambert saying down there, now James Lambert's daughter is head of a section. James Lambert's son is head of a section. You were hearing talk of what was going on. What does it falling down have to do with being a woman? I will tell you why. Why a lot of women was encouraging this foolishness. We have heard the allegations. We have, yes, he's 83 years. The man actually have a place living at NUGFW. The man have his own room. What madness is this? That is the same thing, Ms. Althea, that if you did give Watson Duke a chance, he would have wanted to do the same thing. Control PSA until he reached 60, 70, 80. You see, bringing a man who has done 60 and trying to change the constitution, and it bounced back and leaks. And that is the foolishness that has been going on in this trade union, and that's why nobody taking them seriously. The membership ain't taking them seriously. When they call for a protest, the members not coming out because you know why? They have undermined this, the whole organization. You have heard that in order to get employment at NUGFW, serious allegations, until people came forward, but just to go, some of them was even threatened that if they go to the police, they did not know I deal with this thing, This is not now I have been investigating this story, If who had to get the lick, who had to get a little suck, who had to, well, now that they reach too old, who had to get the dip in the sauce in order to get employment, who had to pay 10,000, 15,000, and they tell you where to go, what day to go, how to go, where to go, in order to get employment, because the union had a part that they could have given due to the collective bargaining agreement and all the different things. And in terms of employment within the government service, the union had a part that they could have given workers, bring people and get them to employment through the union. And it's 10,000, 15,000. Singing Sandra didn't sing that song just so. If you singing Sandra didn't know what she was singing. You feel singing Sandra didn't know what she was singing? So people, when I saw a few of these women, after I told them that what was going on, but I'm telling you, in Hollywood, yes, audition coach going on up there. You want to work? There's so much other pay. That is what was going on. I am glad that they have a new executive. I am glad that they have a new executive to run NUGFW now. You will be surprised. You will be surprised. What should I get into happen? If you know the kind of things that was going on up there, but in Hannah bed, I ain't lying. I tell you, I was investigating this matter while I was doing PSA, while I was doing SWTU, where people actually came forward and spoke about it, talking about what was going on in SWTU, taking work on the boats and them. You remember the boats and them when SWTU had the contract to do the cafeteria and clean the boat? And the amount of women who had to do certain things and they wanted them to do certain things. They have those who died and never get the money, and the court told SWTU to pay the people and them the money, and they never pay the people and them the money. So nobody can come and tell me what I'm saying is not true. Nobody can tell me what I'm saying is not true. One of them died. They was living in Tobago. I had them on my show when I was doing just Fearless Warrior. So nobody can come and tell me. When I did the article and I put it on and put it up, all I wanted was a job. Ask Jenny. Jenny can tell you part 1 and part 2 of the woman who went in the room. When she thought she was being given a job interview, it was sex the man wanted. And she had to run out of the room. So nobody can tell me what I'm saying is not true. But I've reached a level that you get fed up of what's going on. And because these fellas and them were highly connected, even to the UNC, because some of them were senators. Ask them if there wasn't senators under the UNC. Ask them. So when they get a contract, and who gets the agreement to sign, women had to give up. Men had to pay their money. Some women had to give up their body to get the work. And when I saw some of them who I told, hey, what was going on in Oyo Union, they turned a blind eye. And I said, well, how I could be working? How I could be supporting what's going on up there? But it was all about, let me keep my job. Imagine people buy car for woman. They not no joke, I telling you. It's not no joke, I telling you. So when I saw, what you talking about, by telling you, I'm telling you, when I saw NUGFW gets a new president, Lambert voted out. It wasn't just Lambert alone, it was the whole team. First, they tell nobody to watch him again. It was the whole team. Not a seat for them. Telling you, when I spoke about it and I said, a man have a room up there with bed. Imagine that. I said, so wait now, so they don't go home in the house? They're not going home in the house? Imagine that. It was disgusting to know what many of these women had to go through. And then you put your son as a head of a union section. Your daughter, head of a union section. But I ain't lying. David, I'm not lying. If you ask Jenny, I know Jenny will tell you the same thing. If you ask any of them, many of them, if they didn't pay their money of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, prepare to do a goodie look back. I'm telling you, no joke. So when I seen what was happening at NUGFW, I told them, I don't want to talk about it because I reach a point that you just get fed up. And some of these women have children, you know, today. Because when he's 83 years, 83 years. So some of these people children done reach 20-something years, so they can't talk about it again. Because they're embarrassed. And that is legacy that some people want unions in this country to continue going down. Like why when I hear how some of the women who working in the police service and all talking out. But again, I'm telling you, again, many of them, if they come forward, you have to be careful. You remember you don't spend 10 and 15, you don't do your booty look back, you don't do your side thing, cock up leg, all kind of drama thing to get your work. And if you blow whistle and they found out like what went on in SWTU, they shaft the woman and them. I'm telling you, the honest truth, it hurt me. It hurt me to know that what some women had to go through in this country just to get a work when they go by the trade union that is supposed to represent them properly was basically abusing the powers in this country. Because they are the big boys. How dare you go after the big boys? Shoot a woman working there. This one woman working there. But telling you, they know it was worthlessness and you know. But plenty of them won't talk about it. Plenty of them will not talk about it. And that's the gospel truth. And I want to just read something. So after 16 years at the helm of national government and federated workers, James Lambert is no longer the Union President General. Lambert was replaced by his first Deputy President General, Christopher Street. And I will try to see if I can get to interview him. The union held its executive election on Monday. Election supervisor Luna Wright announced that Christopher Street is now the President General elected amongst the new executive. The announcement led a carnival-like atmosphere at the Union Hall. Imagine that. Let us pause. Do we have a Q&A director? We will take a break. We will go straight to the Wali Nagar where the PM is speaking at this point in time, and we will resume right after that.
This event has grown into a truly national event, with its religious significance being upheld as sacred and its essential truths being increasingly understood. To these celebrations, I bring the greetings of the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, my family and myself as Prime Minister of this nation. Diwali is part of the Hindu community's canopy of festivals. It represents a spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, knowledge over ignorance, themes which find great relevance in our modern Trinidad and Tobago. Hinduism, as we know it, came with the indentured laborers who began arriving here from India in 1845. Since the late 20th century, this community has flourished. Some researchers citing it now as among the most distinctive communities of the Indian diaspora. For centuries, it was dismissed by the West as, and I quote, another Oriental religion. But in the turning tide of the past century, its complex philosophy with its unique path of enlightenment has been acknowledged. It has since been recognized as born out of a civilization once considered as, and I quote, the center of wisdom that dates back to around the 1500 BCE. Those origins reveal its early artistic development, its architecture, linguistic sophistication, richness in mythology, philosophy, and theology. The religion's vast array of practices, rituals, and sacrifices is intended to enhance the focus and consciousness in our quest for enlightenment on the path to becoming one with God. Let us dwell on the spiritual theme of, unquote, knowledge over ignorance, unquote. Because here I recognize its relevance to our nation at this time. Even as an ever-increasing number sponsor divisiveness, practice hypocrisy, encourage ingratitude, and glorify hatred, true Hinduism sees knowledge as beyond the mere acquisition of information. It holds the knowledge instead as the path to seeking, knowing, understanding, and feeling God's presence in our every action. The Holy Bhagavad Gita also speaks of knowing God, offering a roadmap to unveiling the mysteries of life and what appears to be a lament that out of the billions of humans, only a few truly seek God, and even fewer gain a true understanding of his divinity. We must all recognize that modern man is at a crisis point. It is said that we know so much, yet understand so little about ourselves. One aspect of that crisis has been our loss of faith, our belief of God's divine force in our daily lives. Our nation is at a crossroads in a turbulent and uncertain world. It is in times like these that the true teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, and I dare say the Quran and the Bible, provide valuable underpinnings for a nation whose youth and even many adults are existing without the moral and spiritual upliftment necessary to guide us to a place of safety, comfort, and progress. Progress has meant an improved quality of life, but has come with a great emotional toll. Today, the science laboratory is increasingly replacing places of worship. In its wake, some are now returning to basic questions about life's meaning, such as, who am I really? With variants of, where am I going in my life? What sort of person or life should I lead? Where is the meaning of my life? Who or what should I turn to? Diwali, in its spiritual quest, also raises the theme of light over darkness and good over evil. This then is a time for each citizen to look and question with naked honesty and detachment his and her deep personal self, asking whether themes such as darkness resides within our daily lives. We may question whether our days are filled with darkness of egotistical thinking, greed, yearning, jealousy, anger, fear, grief, lust, envy, hatred, along with the modern enslavement of various addictions. Implicit in these themes of Diwali, I also see that of individual responsibility, a call to all the people to take ownership of their lives. I see Diwali as reminding us of the need for divine therapy, our communication with God on one hand, and our duties and responsibilities as citizens of our great country on the national level. Tonight, I appeal to all our citizens to continue to spread the light of Diwali across our beloved Trinidad and Tobago. Let us, as a multicultural, multi-ethnic nation, a symbol to the world that we in Trinidad and Tobago are proud of our beloved nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Shubh Diwali.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Please join us center stage. Please join us center stage for a token which will be presented by Senator the Honorable Durup Timal, the President of the NCIC. Give shade. Thank you, Akisha. And this piece of art is called Temple in the Sea. It was done by Maya Fisher. It was on exhibition during our Indian Heritage Month held during May 2024. We say thank you once more to the President of the NCIC and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Nisha, tell us what's next.
Thank you, Leanne.
Oh, yes. So we are back, we are back. We did take a little break to bring the live speech from the Nawali Nagar site in Chaguanas, which is not too far away from where I am. And it had plenty traffic, plenty rain today. But it's fairly nice tonight, actually. And I know at the strike of midnight, we are going to hear fireworks going off around that particular area and throughout. Okay, let me just take this call. Good evening, caller.
Good night to you, sir.
Good evening.
Good night. Hello?
Well,
Yes. Let me take this opportunity to wish all Hindu brothers and sisters in the country Shakti Bari and let the light shine and take away all the darkness inside of them. Son, I must say, Dr. Roddy had a very good speech, one. And two, that one, what about problem with this EMBD crook, right? Went and had the body function and only politicizing the little incident that took place last Saturday with the opposition leader when she was talking and they had some glitch. The man made it abundantly clear to the listeners and the viewers of that program that they had on the South today that when they assume office in a few months' time, they are going to deal with the TTT limiting station network. Right? So it goes to show that they are set on creating problematic situations in this country. Okay, this is okay, it's not a glitch. Things okay. Therefore, things happen.
Yes.
Right? Everything that's perfect and fits you. They might have minor little glitches in between. So they are insinuating that it was a deliberate act on TTT behalf. You understand? And they came out and they made a statement or whatever, and they said if they wish also, they're going to rebroadcast what the opposition leader would have said in his speech, right? But for Munilal to come and make that into a political football and give this perception to the people in the country that when they assume office, which they wouldn't, right? That they're going to take a tackle in TTT backside. But maybe we will see. I want them to talk to these people and let them know what happening come next week Tuesday. That's what we want to know. You understand? But anyway, good program. I'm going to listen.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So thanks for calling in. And you are free to call in 7376064 if you want to call if you are in Trinidad, or if you are outside and you want to call on our international line, you can call on WhatsApp. So you can call on WhatsApp on our international line, which is 19107581113. So, or you can call WhatsApp on 7376064 also. So the two lines are available for WhatsApp call, but only the 7376064 will be the local line. Or if you call the international line, you will go to our head office located outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and then they will have to reroute the call back to Trinidad. So it will be a whole process, and routing money, roaming money, this cost. So let me go again. And I want to thank the Prime Minister for what he has just said in terms of light over darkness. But as Eric said, there are some people like Munilal must not even sometimes open their mouth and talk in this country. Because when the Prime Minister was getting on the press conference at the Prime Minister's house and the lights went out, you remember that? The man couldn't get on the Thursday press conference. The opposition laughed. They said, look at that thing, this, that, the other. And because they had a technical glitch, when the opposition now was talking, they're saying how it's sabotage. You see, when you're laughing at people, you have to be very careful that some things do happen back to you. But I want to see if I can get my my next guest, because I know many people may want to go to take in, because I was watching just now there's another Diwali program going on, because there seems to be a division within the Hindu community, because some people were of the opinion that they did not want the Honorable Minister Stuart Young or the Prime Minister to speak tonight at Diwali Nagar. So they have decided to go south and host, because somebody would have sent me the link where they're having their own show down on that side and not linking with the Diwali Nagar program on tonight. So it just goes to show you that they have decided to split and host one show down in South while one show in the Diwali Nagar side in the central area. So let me see if I can get on to my next guest, who I want to weigh in on this particular topic that I was talking about. Let me see if I can get in. Let me see if I can get him. But before I give him a call, yeah, they just want disunity. They just want disunity. And let me tell you something. A number of people within the Hinduism, the Hindu faith, are waking up. And they are not going to be shunned by politicians who are bent on dividing this country. And if they want to go in, whoever they want to go with, they go in where they want to go. Gone are the days where you cannot go outside of your race or your culture. More and more we are seeing the change happening, but there are some people who want to hold on to that so-called deceitful, nasty culture of you must not go outside. Don't go with this one. They can go with anybody else. They're beating you, but don't go with them. But I think the light over darkness is now shedding in Trinidad and Tobago. But I want to come back to that. Let me see if I get on to. Let me see if I can get on to my next guest here. Let me see. If I don't get him, well, I continue. So I send him the link. It's ringing. It's ringing. So, all right. But let me get back to well, when they reach home, they will give me a call. Yeah, I just see that. When they reach home, they will give me a call. But let me go back to what I was dealing with so that I could continue. Well, them don't understand that, Trinidad is like a lookout. But there are some of them who believe that they're still holding on to the straightness. Now, let me tell you something. Look, let me not even go into that. Let me not go into that. The union, right, let me go in. So President General-elect Street said his first priority will be to conduct a forensic audit. Now, let me go into this thing deep now. Let me go into this thing deep. And when I talk about deep, real deep, Now, even though this is street talk in here, and I quote, even though I was the first Deputy President General, listen to it carefully here, I did not have any knowledge of the financial state of this organization. No. This reminds me of a PSA. This reminds me of a SWTU, where for some strange reason, you cannot get the financials of these organizations. And he is the Deputy President General, saying that I still don't have any knowledge of any financial state of this organization. Or you feel it's joke when I tell you, don't tell SWT was getting the same problem. That's why you see they had to move that one down there. And that's why they had to move Lambert too. Because people was getting fed up. Because the man must be seeing money coming into the organization. And you is the Deputy President General. But telling you out here, and you can't see the financials. When I did a show on the financial of PSA, my oh God, PSA was in the red. PSA was in the red. And they talking about good governance. They want to link up with political parties and your own house in a bad shape. Who you win and run? Who you win and govern? It was just to get into the coffers. Because all of them telling themselves if they get inside there into government, they go in and rape that treasury, manna to eat. And that's what they're doing, you know. Listen to what he say. Listen to what he say. None whatsoever. So this we continue to say. That's why one of the first things we plan to do is initiate a forensic audit of the union's account. A forensic audit, you know. But I'm telling you, some people believe the treasury in the UNC was the playground, you know. Let me just bring a duffel bag of money for me, please, and money share, you know. Serious thing I telling you, you know. And here it is, the man is saying that he's going to initiate a forensic audit. Yes, and they have to do a forensic audit into PSA, and they have to do a forensic audit into SWTU. And if you look sharp, they'll do one in OW2. You see where they had to rent out the downstairs. Rent out the downstairs. All that money or you're making down there, or you say Petrogen making money. Eh? And we still had to rent out the headquarters for OWTU. Are you really serious? All that money? Look, and then they want to tell me about governance and the government and the government. I want to bring a video when he's talking, but when he couldn't come properly. That answer Roger, wait, and I have more to do with them, you know. So when he initiated this forensic audit, because forensic audit is go deeper, a forensic audit is go deep. And when I mean deep, it is unearth every single dollar thing. You can't miss nothing when you're doing a forensic audit, you know. So the audit will give us a clear sense of where we stand. While we can't predict the outcome, we believe it's a necessary step for moving forward. He also said there will be initiatives aimed at strengthening the union, and that would mean to change the perception that the union is not a lick, a goodie go back, and all them dotishness. A sex hall. James Lambert have to leave. Take the bed, take that old PC bed and go home now. Go home. They didn't want to go home. I just asked myself, but wait now. So these fellas and them don't have no wife. You had to stay inside it. So the President General, James Lambert, 1,981 votes, while the President General elected Christopher Street received 2,329 votes. It was a good race. The new executive would be sworn in. So they had some small challenges according to the union rules. If there's no challenges, well, if they want to challenge the election, the supervisor would proceed to stall the installation of executive members. They get a clean whitewashing. But telling all you feel is joke. No more. Come, let me lick it. Come bend over for me. All them days done. Go home. Go home, Lambert. Your political life done too. Go home. But you see, one of the things that many of them want to hold on to, because there's no longer no President General and all these different things. But you know what they want to hold on to? NATO. So they go and sing for the supper because in NATO, which is the parent body, they go in and go there. They go in and go there. So when they go there, let me talk in the real language. Eh? When they go there, that's why Ansel Roger, the other one for Anisette, could still say he's the secretary for NATO, and they still play, they have a voice. But I hope this new President General tell James Lambert, no, you don't represent me. Go home. Go home. The tides have shifted. Good governance need to step in now. And when we talk about dauntless defenders of good governance, that is what we're talking about. And PSA is going to be next. PSA is going to be next. And we see Batiste and them playing the fool in calling the election because they know they cut us book. They cut us book. And they can't stop it. Because we need good governance. We don't need people abusing mothers to get no work. We don't need people playing politics so that people can't get the money, the back pay. We don't need people to be abusing the powers and taking finances and going and live it up large. Paying for hotel, paying for this, paying for Mercedes Benz. We don't want them things. Good governance must start with you and me doing the right thing. And the right thing is leading an organization that everybody could say, yes, we have a place here. Not afraid to talk in the union. And then, boy, I tell you, when these fellas and them sat down, and they were senators, and they were eating the food, is everybody was playing, dabbling, until they realized 2024, 2023, some of them get kicked out. 2024, some of them get kicked out. It's only Ansel Roger holding on. And he holding on and don't want to let him go. But very soon, election is going to come for him too. And all of them will now see how powerful they wasn't in this society. I just hope that many of these so-called new leaders who have now taken over the organization will now steer the organization into a new dimension, a new direction, where everybody can have an equal say in the governance running of these trade unions. To all of you all who have come on tonight, I want to say, Shuk Diwali, have a blessed night. But before I go, Director, yeah. So tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is a holiday. How much we have to tighten our belt again? Jude, let me tell you something. When you go and you ask them trade unions and them how much money they have still in the conference, then they can come and ask me why how we go tighten the belt. Because the trade unions is who don't want to sign off for the workers to get the money. And let me move on. So that they can move from 2013 salaries to now a better 2023 salary. So June, let's be realistic. Until I get the 10 people from me, up to now I can get the 10 people from me when I come to play games tonight. But don't feel that same belt you're getting tightened with. I ain't come and cut your ass with it. I'm not condoning violence, but I will cut your ass with it. Because I feel that this thing is a joke now. If we are to develop the society, we have to help everybody. We must leave nobody behind. We must not play greedy. And it's all about me and my pocket, me and my pocket. Yeah, well, the figurative quarters you get. Yeah, figurative quarters are true. Yes, David. But nevertheless, I want to really say to everybody, tomorrow is a holiday. I'm not too sure that we may have a show tomorrow. I'm not too sure about that. But I know on Sunday, because I have an interview to do on Friday, and on Sunday, I'm going to run that interview right here. So I'm gonna send it to the director, we're gonna fix it up, we're gonna ting it up, and we're gonna run that on Sunday at 8 o'clock. People, tell your people, it is this what I'm going to, this interview will shock you. It will shock you. It's a humanistic story. It's not about politics. It's a humanistic story. And we're going to dive in the things that will make you, if you can't handle it, you know you can't watch certain pictures, you can't handle certain graphics, do not come and watch the program on Sunday. Because what we'll be talking will shock you in this country. People, I want to thank you for coming out and watching our show. Director, could you take me out with my parang music, my video, Charlene Flores? No, before we end, so don't play that yet. Can anybody tell me what is happening with Charlene Flores? That was a sweet woman long time. Long time I watching TV. And I watching this woman on TV. I used to be just watching this woman. Me care what she's singing. I don't know the hell she's singing in Spanish, but I just watching Charlene Flores. She was here. I never see what happened to her. No, if I see her now, I'm not too sure, but she used to look real good long time. Director, take me out with Charlene Flores, please. Dave might leave the wife and goodie. Let's play the video. Charlene Flores.
Por ir atrás cantando todo el amor que yo no
Me lover, I have to mention in my confession to you, me lover, and must discuss what we should and shouldn't do.